Click the subscribe button below to receive new videos as we release them. Hit the thumbs up button so others can find our content. For more information, visit thejerusalemossembly.org.
The Divine Plan. Manifesting Faith, by Ruben D. Garcia. Blessed is the one who trusts in the Lord, whose confidence is in him. Jeremiah 17:7. If there is a statement that can describe a man of faith, it is this one. It is the most significant attribute of a man whose life entails righteousness. The man of faith perseveres throughout his life not only by the rules but the standards of what is right and just for everyone. Collectively, a righteous man is wise and truthful. You may say he is a man of an authentic and genuine personality. Consequently, he lives by his faith and will not sacrifice his stand trusting in the Lord. These traits are rarely seen today. Yet in ancient times, the wise ones were often found and became the voice of God, his prophets. But we find throughout the Holy Scriptures there existed other righteous men with different directives spiraling God's supremacy in all they did. Such unique individuals were Abraham, Moses, Jacob, Joseph, David, and of course Jesus. All seem to identify with God being the center of their lives. This, sadly, is exceedingly rare today. What a pity, because they are urgently needed today, as we speak. However, a man of faith for today's time is not as rare as it has been expected or has been substantiated as a result of the spiritual upheaval we have experienced in the last 100 years. What is most needed is a spiritual growth in which God becomes the center of our lives. I know, it is easier said than done. Nevertheless, one only needs an understanding in all that faith entails, and this is what I will share with you in this article. It is going to be an uphill battle, I can assure you, but you must not look at it as a panoramic view of it all but as an individual photo of a person. We have been so accustomed at seeing and evaluating things in the proverbial whole picture, but it is not the factor of faith because it is all an essence of individual efforts. The best I can put it is this: one drop of water may seem useless but millions create showers, and in the larger scope, a storm. That means each one of us must begin by doing our spiritual part along with simple acts of kindness, benevolent praises, and courteous attitudes in which we can display what is right, and together we can initiate the manifestation of the new faith humanity urgently needs. We can start with these three simple attributes throughout our daily existence and are easily manageable in just about any situation. A factor of consideration before you begin to exercise the attributes is patience, and as you are well acquainted, is a virtue almost non-existent in our current society, and yet is the catalyst of the new faith toward unity. Kindness, just to think of the word and what it supposedly designates in our daily lives, can bring about self-doubt, especially if you have had very little use in your life. It may sound fictitious, but it is not. Kindness is more than an element of consciousness. In fact, in many situations in which you could exercise an act of kindness from the heart, most individuals refer to an act of heartless outcome. Absurd, you may comment, but in reality most often it comes unconsciously. Since childhood we learn to control our surrounding environment against any act that can jeopardize its wholeness. The child does it through minuscule behavior, but it is the initiation for a larger program which becomes a mainstay in our grown-up stages. To begin, being kind-hearted can simply start by being conscious of the needs of others. Charity is a good start. It does not need to be in a large content or measure, but a simple $1 to a homeless person is a good start. However, do not precipitate your act with questioning the state the person in need displays, as your ego may interfere with the act, but simply make the act with degrees of compassion and a prayer for the wellness of the individual. Kindness can also be executed at any store, shop, or business in which materials and goods may be found on the floor due to another person unexpectedly dropping, or not interested in picking it up. This, most often, is where your courtesy is observed by the universe, since the universe is a witness of your action. So, pick it up and place it away. Other times, the same can be done in assisting someone to go before you in a cashier's lane if they have urgency, or in hand many other items. Believe me, once you do this, watch the smile people display when you conduct these acts. There you will see the product of kindness. As you begin to exercise this virtue in other settings, your faith, yes, your own private faith, will begin to fill the emptiness you have been experiencing for a long time. But the best thing you will notice is you will feel better about yourself, because the Spirit of God, His divine essence, will be rewarding you through inner cohesiveness, something most humans have lost. Benevolent praises. What is it meant by benevolence? Equally as humanity has forgotten the virtue of kindness, most are strangers to the word benevolence. Therefore, let us be blunt in this case, because benevolence is not an act but an existence. Simply, it means that it is the nature of an individual tendency to do kind and charitable acts throughout daily existence. These individuals are concerned in bringing not only peace to a troubled one but also aiding in helping see the bright side of what troubles the individual. In my first-hand experiences, I monitor the person's posture and demeanor, since it is the best portrayal of the internal conflict, pain, or discomfort the person is experiencing. Most often, individuals want not to hear the proverbial, "I know how it is and how you feel," or "all is going to be better." The person experiencing the traumatic episode knows that things at that instant will not improve. Therefore, here is an appropriate spiritual response: I thank God for allowing me to be here by your side in your hour of need and help you bind our hearts as family through prayers and support from Him. Then, as the individual reasons to the word heard, you can begin with a simple prayer such as this: Beloved Father, thank you for all you are doing to bless and comfort my beloved and dearest friend first name, in these trying days for him or her. Dear God, he or she has lived by faith and trusting you. Now they need your kindness and love as we all do every day. See to their comfort, my beloved Father and God. You can add other spiritual qualities you have observed of the individual, and you can end with a simple statement such as, I am here for as long as you need me. Why say that? Because beloved friends support each other as a spiritual fellowship, never failing to be there for each other. We have lost that emotional comradeship in the civilian community, but it is very real in a military arena during wars. You will find that you become more involved comforting people. Your spirituality will rise to levels that may surprise you. Finally, other benevolent praises including get well wishes in so many arrays of opportunities that you may find yourself overwhelmed, but set your emotional pace until you achieve spiritual dexterity. God knows your limits and He would rather have you emotionally stable rather than exhaustive in your confidence. Last one, courteous attitudes, which you may find that in some instances you have been already exercising this spiritual trend. However, here are some environments that you could improve or add to a repertoire of courteous attitude, or in some instances substitute some that have become redundant or absolute, since being courteous can have changes, especially in how you may approach the demeanor of an opposite gender. This can be found in how you will address a person. Here is an example. Some cultures you can express a courteous emotion by using a title, such as love, my lady, honey, baby, etc., and can be viewed as offensive to the addressee. I encountered this more often in the last 20 years. Still, program yourself to recognize that courteous attitudes have a favorite place in our spiritual program. After all, it is the building block in which the new faith will emerge, being the one in which unconditional love shall endure as the core of human existence. Be aware that prudency can deflect from the intent to be aware that spiritual courtesy is a virtue in urgent need to be restored in humanity to bring about unconditional unity, as are the desires of God, the Father. Through the various scenarios we encounter daily, we can exhibit and conduct courtesy. Some are as simple as allowing another driver to enter into traffic, hold the door for a person, comfort a crying child, or simply pray for all of humanity's salvation, or for the despair another part of the world is experiencing, such as wars, a natural disaster, or suffering from lack of food. These simple acts are to remind us of the bountifulness in our lives, especially before and after a meal. Remembering to be grateful for all that God has provided is vital. However, we must also be cognizant that in other parts of the world children are suffering. Echo your sentiments for them with a deep desire for God to intervene as He has intervened in your life. Additionally, quietly, in thought, give thanks, remembering all of those individuals that work to bring the meal to your table. Finally, upon completing the meal also give gratitude to God in this manner: "Thank you for the meal, beloved Father." Similarly, if invited to the dinner, thank the hostess in an almost similar fashion you thanked God earlier. Also, every opportunity you have, give thanks for drinking water, give thanks for the breath you take, but best to do daily. Upon getting up before the cup of coffee or the smoke you take, give gratitude and utter with a truthful heart the following: "Father, I thank you for returning my soul with loving compassion. You are well known that I may live according to your desires." The spectrum of scenarios in which courteous attitudes are available in numerous environments is phenomenal. As they say, may the force be with you, because unbelievably all that I outlined here are efforts of personal energy and believing in yourself. That is the beginning in acquiring the gift of the true faith God seeks for all of us, and is found in whether you can consider yourself to be a righteous person and whether you can live by God's faith in you. I will address this in my next article, because the salt or sugar that goes into the essence of what I have shared is unconditional love, the masterpiece of God's greatest essence in all of us and mankind must learn and express into the new earth and the new humanity. I can assure that you are going to desire to be on that new earth, and with the new faith you will live by. In conclusion, remember this phrase at all times uttered by God Himself: "I will bless those who bless you." Ponder this for a while. When you do, you have taken that first step, my beloved friend. Namaste.